I am so sorry, Bills fans. That whole idea of an AFC East division crown was so short lived. Cam Newton has officially signed with the Patriots. What does this mean? Well, I'll get into all that in this video, but what's crackalackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know so. And back again, once again, for another video. I figured, hey, Cam Newton, he signed with the Patriots. I'm a Dolphins fan, so it's in my division. Let's go ahead and talk about it, and I'll kind of go over this roller coaster of, I guess, a thought process I had when it came to this, because I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't too keen on the idea. So just go ahead, let's switch to this. It's a little more graphical for some people, but bam, Cam Newton signs with the Patriots. My first thoughts was, so what is this, a quarterback battle with Cam Newton and Jared Stidham? Because I don't think Cam Newton really fits Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels' offense. I've always, in my head, I've always seen Cam Newton as a vertical passer. Not to say he's not. He actually very much so is. And I was like, how is he going to fit this kind of dink-dunk West Coast-esque offense of the Patriots? And I was like, you know what? Let me take a deep dive into this. Because it's like, Bill Belichick, I may very much dislike him and the Patriots, but the dude's a genius. He makes things work. You've seen him just do wonders. I mean, Tom Brady, and then bringing along guys like Matt Castle, Jacoby Brissett, Jimmy G, making them winners. The dude is just a great coach, and don't mind me right now. Like, I'm trying to be a little quiet because it's like 2:30 in the morning, and my kid's asleep. I leave in like 4 hours to go camping from Monday through Friday. But and I have a couple other videos I need to record and edit. So oh boy, I'm gonna be really sleep deprived. But yeah, I have this whole perceived notion that Cam Newton, all he really is maybe a power runner and with really good mobility, and he throws deep. When in fact, not necessarily the case. So I deep dived into this and I was like, okay, let's take a look at how many deep shots Cam has taken compared to Brady over the course of Cam's career. And Cam Newton, he does force the ball deep, and by deep I mean that balls that go through the air 20 yards or more. And he takes a lot of shots. Opposed to the last 2 seasons, which been under Norv Turner, and we'll get to that in a minute. He has been very effective at pushing the ball downfield. We could all remember 2015 where he was the MVP. There were like 35 touchdown passes. Teddy Ginn was a fantasy monster. And literally, it's like, that's just like was ingrained into my brain. So taking a look at, okay, what has Brady done during that time? And his numbers aren't too far from Cam's when it comes to attacking downfield. What not necessarily scared me. Should, I'm a Dolphins fan, I guess it should scare me. But Cam in the intermediate, so that like 10 to 19 yards, 1 to 10 yards ball through the air, he's above average at that. Like, Brady was amazing. That was his bread and butter, the intermediate pass game. Cam's not that bad. Like analytically, looking at the numbers, pretty solid. And I'm like, oh my gosh, might this be a fit? So I wanted to deep dive and take a look at how his pass systems compares to Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels, he runs like a bevy of different things. As far as the run game, he loves to just punish the ball. He's like a north downhill, hit the gap, bam, go. Sprinkles in a little bit of outside zone with that. And I mean, you could see the power with Tony Michel and whatnot. So the run game is a real part of their offense. And then when it comes to passing, he often likes to use, compact formations. That's why I'm assuming that's why they drafted 2 tight ends this year. and I think it was like the late third round, and Dalton Keene from Virginia Tech and Devin Asiasi at UCLA. They wanted to get they wanted to bring in big, potentially big targets, and like often you'll see maybe like bunch or trips, stuff like that. So he likes to run these compact formations, and he will attack the intermediate ton, but he will always have someone there to keep a team honest on the deep ball. He forces teams to have to defend the whole field. That's why you saw success with like a Philip Dorsett in that system. That's why Randy Moss, he was so just prolific during his time with the Patriots. So I found that very, very interesting. And then like often they'll use like they'll kind of like flood the outside of the field. So maybe like they'll have someone deep, but then someone will come in on an out route. So they've already forced a man deep. So underneath, if it's not man to man, it should be undefended, or you have deep wide open. Kind of like that kind of logic is basically how this offense runs for the Patriots. And looking at what Cam Newton has worked with, I kind of like chucked the Norv Turner stuff because he wasn't that efficient under Norv Turner. Actually, he was very efficient under Mike Shula, who had a very similar concept when it came to running the football. He liked very hard-nosed downhill running from his backs. On top of that, he would like to bring in multiple tight ends. So he'd give you the illusion of blockers and make them pass catchers. I saw a Greg Olsen do so well in that system. He would often, his running backs would have to be pass catchers. I mean, that's why Christian McCaffrey was like fit like a glove. You could go back to Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo Williams. They had to have someone in the backfield that was able to catch the football. They had to be able to be receivers. But I found that part very much interesting. Very, very much different to Norv Turner. He kind of had this weird vertical horizontal like pass game. Like, yeah, and by horizontal or vertical and horizontal, I mean he would use motion a lot. He'd have a guy go deep, but then he'd have like maybe a huge crosser come across the field. So in all likelihood, you should have something open, but they take a long time to develop. And it just didn't really work, especially when the offensive line was struggling. You can't have those longer developing routes. So I just found it interesting how similar, or in some aspects, that Shula and McDaniel's schemes are. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually a pretty decent fit. And I mean, the utilization of the play action in both these offenses, pretty top notch. So I just kind of came to the conclusion, because I'm not gonna lie, I thought this was going to be a quarterback battle because I didn't think Cam Newton would fit this offense. I thought, okay, Jarrett Stidham. That's why I thought they were going to do so crap. I'm not a Jarrett Stidham believer. I didn't like him coming into the draft. I didn't like him as a quarterback. I thought he was this kind of cookie cutter idea of what a quarterback should be. A very not very old school, but like it's not how you should view a quarterback now. They have to have a cannon for an arm and be kind of tall. It's not what it is. Like a lot of people think he's accurate. No, I think his ball placement's actually pretty terrible. But I was like, you know what? It's Bill Belichick. I'm not going to question him. But he has some misses here and there. I can't remember the Arkansas kid off the top of my head, but I remember that cat. So, yeah, I was just not a believer in Stidham. And to think that just maybe like 2 hours ago, I was like, oh, so Cam came in here to be in a camp battle with Stidham? Not the case. This is Cam's job to lose. I mean, I guess there's a chance. Also, I think they said the deal was very incentive laden. So like a lot of incentives similar, I don't know how similar, but it's very similar to what they're doing with Marcus Mariota's deal with the Raiders. Like he performs to a certain extent, then bam, he gets money. But other news with the Patriots, because They got fined for that Bengals crap they pulled where they were recording their sideline. Let me check this out real quick. Patriots. Bengal investigation. There we go. Sorry, it's really late and I'm like really tired. All right, so because I know they're losing, I think they said it was a 3rd round pick. All right, so they'll be fined $1.1 million. They'll be fined also. They'll lose a 3rd round pick in this upcoming draft, and the team's production crews will not be allowed to film games during the 2020 season. So honestly, I think they get off pretty easy for that. I guess it wasn't like too terrible. I mean, technically they only got caught for 1 game. I don't know how many games they've done this for, but yeah, losing the 3rd round pick, because let's be honest, man, the Patriots, they're showering themselves in draft picks. Oh, you want a 3rd? Haha, take it. Haha, we'll just get 1 back eventually. We'll probably like trade out of the 1st round and grab 2. They're kind of weird like that. Not weird, actually. Trading out is a very, very smart strategy. But yeah, I still think the Bills are, I don't know, it's hard to tell who's going to be the favorite in that division. You got to say the Patriots, but you also got to, like, what haunts me is the Cam of the last 2 seasons. It's really leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. But I mean, if he's healthy, if he could return to not necessarily that 2015, but even like his 2016 self, then totally cool with it, because the guy he attacks down the field, but he's pretty decent on the intermediate, actually, especially on the outside, which is perfect because Daniels likes to attack like those out routes and such. So the thing is, they don't really have a deep threat, the Patriots. They're all like, their receivers were uncharacteristically bad. Even Julian Edelman, he had like 10 drops last season. So that's why you saw Tom Brady so frustrated. That's why the offense suddenly out of nowhere just kaput. So it'll be kind of interesting. I'm intrigued. I guess I would lean with the Patriots, but I wouldn't count the Bills out either, depending on how far Josh Allen develops this season. It'll be very interesting because he's got incredible weapons. But that's all I got for the video. Just kind of talking, rambling and whatnot. So go ahead, do that YouTube thing. And until next time, be easy, my friends. Later.